Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots. With me, as always, is Johnny C., creator of Surrounded by Death. What's up, bud?
What's going on, my man?
Awesome. We just came from, this is like an interesting night for us, huh? We just came...
crossover.
Yes,
just like
crossover
in the comic books.
Yes, exactly. That's why we did the short interview tonight, or the short intro tonight, just so we can get right into it. Just want to talk about a couple things so we can then we'll bring our guests right in. Two guys, great guys. We've had them both on the show separately in past episodes, and they got a Kickstarter going on right now that they're almost cleared. So close. Congrats, it's so close. Maybe we can push the needle a little bit for them tonight, you know. But yeah, we did like a crossover. We were on their show for the last hour. An awesome YouTube channel called Catch the Craze. If you haven't subscribed, go check it out. And you get the first part of this interview, where we were on the receiving end of the interview, and not the interviewees, or the interviewers. And now the shoes are kind of reversed, So I like when it's more like we go on somebody's show and we just kind of have diarrhea of the mouth and we don't have to like push things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We don't have to like curate the conversation.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Before we get into that, any updates on your campaign, Johnny?
Yes. So I'm like over 60% fulfilled. Almost every tier has been sent out except for a few minor ones here and there. The internationals, the Espresso Presto bundle pack. So the people got the really like massive bundle packs. Some of those started going out. I just got to finish up doing those, but I'm really close to being done. Aside from the stuff that had new stuff that had to be created.
Oh, cool.
So the stuff that had to be created is still in progress. There's a little bit of a delay on that based upon what I initially planned as my fulfillment date. I let everybody know. We updated the page this week. A lot of books went out. I actually sent out Don Chin's pack.
Nice.
This week. So
nice.
I'm hoping when we get some feedback from him, just saying like, hey, looks great or whatever. It looks terrible. You could do this better or whatever the case may be.
That's great, dude. So how many people you have left to fulfill, you think, at this point?
Geez.
How many backers did you have total?
There's 139 people with rewards. Okay. A little over 100 have been fulfilled already.
Oh, wow. So you're really close then.
Yeah, I'm really close.
That's cool, man. It'll be awesome once you have it in your rearview mirror, and then you can start thinking about the next one,
Yeah, so I've already teased in my update that the next crowdfunding I do for anything will probably be Sartana, and I might go to Indiegogo for that. I'm still debating.
Try it out, right?
But I want to try it out. I don't think any crowdsourcing platform should belong to an A or a B or whatever. I feel like you should be able to go anywhere without the connotations that come with certain things. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and you should find out for yourself which one works better for you. I've tried both, and I think Indiegogo doesn't have the name Kickstarter does, but I think it's easier to work with. I don't know. The
only difference here is I haven't backed a lot on Indiegogo as much as I have for Kickstarter. So same. I don't know.
I'm the opposite. I back on both, but I have less on Kickstarter than I do Indiegogo's, I think. And I don't know why that is. Maybe just find more projects that way or guests that we've had and come on the show and but yeah, one thing I wanted to check out too before we bring these guys on is take a look at... And I was going to say
one more thing while you're pulling that up is that currently right now the Cthulhu is Hard to Spell Volume 3 campaign is live.
Oh yes, that's right. I saw that
story to shorten that.
Yes.
So that's going pretty strong right now. We're just under 15K.
And that just launched yesterday?
Yesterday.
Wow. What's the goal on that?
Almost 15K.
What's the goal on that?
30.
Wow, okay. That's great. First day, you're almost halfway there. That's fantastic.
Yep. So
that's probably going to
run it a little longer too. It's going to be like 40 days. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we're hoping
that's a strong start, though. I mean,
we're hoping for some overperformance by the last day. You know what I mean?
Nice. I'll have to bring that up later on before we close out the show and just take
I have a few other campaigns I want to shout out too, so we'll do that at the end.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So Alterna's over 20 grand finally. It's awesome. And the books, from what Pete was saying to us, is they're going to the printer this week, I believe. So this is going to start fulfilling probably in another month or two. And then I think Pete's going to close it out and go to the next, which would be spring 2021 or 2022 at this point. And that'll be the next campaign. I think he's going to even go less books, I think he said. So it might be like the next buy-in for the next campaign. It'll be like 15 plus 5 shipping or something like that. So it's going to get even cheaper, you know. But yeah, this is great.
That could be more accessible to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you didn't get Mighty Mascots 5 and 6, this is the way to waste. This is the place to get it, you know.
Right, and I love that you guys are you are featured at the top there with Mighty Mascots.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? And
That's
then
awesome.
You know, get all these other great books, and then also the 2 exclusive trading cards. I think there's going to be 2 per set or 2 per campaign. So
the trading cards is that's really like an awesome feature. Like that's one thing that, you know, attracts me to the campaign.
Yeah, and I don't think you're gonna see that in a lot of you know what I mean, and like you know, I don't see you're gonna see them selling the cards separately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're creating a rarefied item.
Exactly.
Right out the gate.
Yes.
That's like an NFT, but in physical form.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So, all right. So we're just gonna launch right into it because we had a good conversation going with these guys on their channel. So tonight's guest is Sam Vera. Hey Sam, good to have you back.
Hello.
And then George Medina. How's it going, George?
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Good to see you again.
Long time no see.
I know. Right?
And have you guys ever done something like this before, like where you start on your show and go to something else the same night, or no?
Not back to back like this. No,
That's cool.
We've had like other people from other shows maybe on our show, but never like we go from one show to the other and we just continue the party.
Just keep it going.
Yeah, definitely. And if you guys are looking for the first half of this conversation, that'll be probably be live on your channel tomorrow, I would imagine.
It's there now.
Yeah,
it's on there now. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
so first half of this conversation, we just talked about Comic-Cons and so that was some funny stories there. So if you want to check out the first half of this conversation, go on over to Catch the Craze and check that out. It was pretty fun.
And right off the bat, thank you guys for taking the time to do this too. Like,
dude,
I know we're all doing double duty tonight, but like, we really appreciate you guys making the time for us. You know?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So running the Kickstarter, you guys tired yet? I mean,
Sam's exhausted. Sam's got coffee.
Yes, I was like,
he's been kidnapped, bro. Look, he's in a cockpit. He's in space somewhere right now.
Sam, exactly how many minutes between you checking the page?
I have it on the screen like it's like the NASDAQ. I'm like George. I said, why is it when I look at other campaigns, I see it rolling?
When I was running my campaign, dude, it was like literally I literally could not go 5 minutes without going back and refreshing, and then like going to Twitter and posting and going back and refreshing and seeing like am I making any impact here. I was mental with like social media analytics for 3 months, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's like girl in high school that you like, will she answer me? You write her a note, I like you, would you go out with me? And you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. Did you read it? Did she read it? Did she read it?
Yeah.
Well, it all ties back to putting yourself out there. And it's funny that you say that because when I launched my campaign, and I even told people when I went live, I go, I haven't been this nervous since I asked my junior prom date out in high school.
Johnny,
where
was your campaign? Your campaign was an Indiegogo or Kickstarter?
No, it was actually Kickstarter.
It was.
Like I was saying a little bit before we all came on again here, is that I'd like to try Indiegogo, but I've backed so much on Kickstarter. I felt like I had a presence there. You know what I mean? I think people saw my name when I backed them. So when it came time where I backed, they may have followed me or whatever the case may be. And I
prefer. Yeah, I prefer Kickstarter over Indiegogo. I heard you guys talking about it, and my reason for preferring Kickstarter is just it's the app. Like I'm able to go on the app on Kickstarter and literally like I'm doing nothing and I'm bored, I'm waiting for something, and I'm on Kickstarter just looking at campaigns. Where Indiegogo, I'd have to go to their website, and it's just clunky.
It's a little tougher, right?
Yeah, so that's why I pledge more on Kickstarter.
The one reason I like it better, and I've done both platforms. The one reason I like it better is I like the fact that when somebody backs a campaign, they have to pay for it right then and there. Because and I'm sure you guys have run into this where you lost some pledges at the end because Kickstarter can't collect that funds from the people. That's why
you send an update and you guilt everybody to death.
Yeah, right. But it's like the two campaigns I've done, I lost at least $40 or $50 that way, and it was like. It's it's small potatoes, and you just kind of treat it like it's.
What's that? I lost 600.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, 600.
What happened? Oh my god!
Items. They were big ticket items, and next year, when it was time to reconcile, they just didn't.
They ghosted you. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So, I only had one drop, and that was a big ticket item. It was a $300 pledge. So.
Well, they could still. They can still get a refund on Indiegogo, but it's tougher because they take the money, and then by then you're like thinking, oh well, the money's already gone. It's like unless you really need it, But I don't know. That aspect I like a lot better than Kickstarter, but Kickstarter definitely has the name, So and it's got that advantage with the app, which I didn't even think about. That is like Indiegogo doesn't even have an app. They should. I mean. At this point, they're big enough that they should have that.
The Kickstarter app is good. My only beef with it is that the backer report, like the dashboard, is not great.
No.
On the mobile. So, if you're really looking to try to manage back end stuff, you have to be on desktop for that.
Not only that, but if you have it, you can't even search your landing page. You have to have a link. You know what I'm saying? So you can't go on Kickstarter and type in.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Like Indiegogo, you can actually go on their site and look at pre-launch stuff. Yeah. Like you can look at a whole list of stuff that's coming up. And I do that sometimes just to see what's out there and what's coming up.
I think with the two platforms, right? I think Indiegogo is better for the creator. And it's harder for the person giving the money out because they take your money right away. They ask for your phone number when you're pledging.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
They ask you for a lot of stuff. So as the consumer, it's a little tougher, but as the creator, it's easy. You set up your page, you're good to go.
Right.
Kickstarter is harder for the creator and easier for the consumer. So I can pledge all day on Kickstarter, but as the creator, I can't. Like you said,
that's a good point.
I can't get to my backer report. You have to be, they have to say, yeah, you're good to go on the campaign. You have to wait for them to approve you. Whereas at Indiegogo, you want a campaign here, put it on here. It's easy to go. So I think
that everybody.
On the two things is a little different in that way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Michael Sammartino in the chat brings up a good point. He goes, some indies go to eBay too. What do you guys think about that strategy?
I haven't even thought about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, my comic presence on eBay is really to the extent of like, okay, I missed that variant cover in the store, or on the campaign.
That's true.
Now's my chance to get it through eBay because that's immediately anybody who's looking to profit or turn a profit from something like that, like a variant cover. That's where they're going to go is either Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Right. More often than not, eBay.
Right. Although Sam did find a copy of the book on eBay, right?
$40. Oh, cool.
Someone sold it for $40.
$40, not bad.
And it had the signatures on it too.
I mean,
so they got it at a con.
Sam's not going to get any of that money, but somebody.
Hey, just know that your work is that valuable out there somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Before we go further, I forgot to even say hello to the audience tonight. So let's backtrack a little bit here. See what we got. We got my wife in the chat with us tonight. Good evening.
Howdy, Amy.
Michael, I think, came over from your show, right? Michael Sammartino.
Yeah, Michael
said he's in the waiting room.
Thank you, Michael,
sorry for making you wait, Mike. And then he LOL. Let's see who else we got here. We got the Are You Crazy Enough? Must be one of you guys, right?
Yeah.
Doodle Alien. We got
Doody
Raiden Radio, Hail All, and Hail the Chat.
Hail.
We got Mike. Sam is in his spaceship. Now Sam and George can take it easy, sit back and relax. Right, that's what we were just saying.
Me and Keith were like, "Oh, this is kind of nice. We don't have to drive the show. Yeah. Now it's on us.
Now it's on us." Hail Indie Comics Relay. Dr. Mass, thanks for coming in. Dr. Mass, awesome. He backed. I was at a Alterna auction last weekend. He bought one of my items there for some of my artwork, which is awesome. It's good to see him here. What did he say? I like the Indiegogo interface better. That's okay. So, and then what did he say? Kickstarter, you have to dig for the campaign. That's true. That's the other the thing about Kickstarter too is everybody's on there, right? So it's tougher to stand out a little bit. Whereas Indiegogo, I think you have a little better of a fighting chance because there's not as many comics on there. Right. I mean, there's a bunch, but it's not like Kickstarter where you can go days just looking through campaigns,
Yeah, it's true.
Ara is in our chat. Sorry, I'm late.
You, Ara, you're never late.
We're never late, man. And then let me see. We got to Michael's comment here. Some indies go to eBay too. Right. What do you guys think about that strategy? I've heard that like people set up
eBay stores,
like eBay stores now, and use it instead of a website for their own stuff. I guess like that could work for you. I guess it all depends on how much that is and then how often you promote it, I guess, if you build up your fan base, things like that. I don't know. I guess it could work. I'd never tried it. When I got my website, it came with, I think the tier I bought, because I use Weebly and it's integrated with Square.
Right.
And the tier I bought gave me like 10 free listings for a store on my website. So I just use that and then I just kind of move things out and add things in kind of thing and just keep it like 10 items,
Right.
Dr. Mass said, I saw someone doing a comic through GoFundMe and I am out on that one. Yeah. I don't think that's a good place to
yeah, that's more of like my dog has a broken leg kind of thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Help me fix it. Yeah.
And you don't want to be buying comics on there. It's weird to me. I don't know. And then I think that might catch us up. Let's see. He said eBay is cool for cover stock. Or overstock.
Yeah,
overstock.
That's true too.
That's what you were saying, Johnny, right?
But it's also good for Comic-Con. I mean, I go to a Comic-Con for overstock, right? And that's where you pick up
you get those dig through those
50-cent
boxes. You know?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So besides the campaign, what's been going on with you guys? It's been a few months since we had both of you on the show. I remember you were almost back to back, right? It was like a week, 2 weeks between each other or something like that. I think the last.
Yeah. I think George was on first.
Yeah. I was on, and then Sam came on, and then we decided let's do one, all four of us, and now we're gonna have you guys individually on the show. Also.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's gonna be cool.
Keep the party going.
Right.
That's right.
But yeah, no, it's been busy. I mean, Sam's been busy with the There's an Alien in My Toilet campaign. So
yeah, I think you were in the early stages of that, Sam. Right? The last time you were on.
The last time you were on.
Launched it last week Tuesday.
But you were building the campaign or something the last time.
Yes. I was when I came onto your show. I think I was either ending the Forbidden campaign or somewhere along, or it ended. I'm not sure. And then so we just launched this campaign. It seems like I think we did 5 campaigns last year, and and starting off this year, it's
did 5 last year, huh?
Yes, it's a glutton for punishment.
Wild. That's wild.
Yeah. That is wild, man. Like, because I can't even imagine like doing 2. So 5. That's crazy. That's it's awesome. It's awesome that you can do that.
I think the good and the bad thing, right? So the good thing is that obviously we were funded and it was great and whatever. The bad part of it is that it's like you said, it's just long, just 30 days of just. It's like boot camp.
Yeah.
It's like every day you
go to your job and then you come home and you're on YouTube or a podcast that night. It's like, but the whole month is like that. It's like crazy.
The other good thing though is that because like I heard you say, Johnny, congratulations, you had over 100 and something backers, so you're still fulfilling. We had 50, 60, like it wasn't that many, so we were able to fulfill quicker.
And go right to the next one.
Yeah, so we're hoping that this one, we have that problem of over 100, pledges that.
And doing the process, you just fall into a groove anyway. Like, it becomes something that's so easy to manage by like your third campaign out of 5. That third one you're doing blindfolded, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
As long as they come to show up for you, you deliver for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I set up the way I set up because I have a closet in my studio, and the way I set it up, I have the books, sorted. I have all the supplies, the boxes, the bubble wrap, everything. So I just grab it, weigh it, fold it, pack it, put the label on it, go to the next one, and I do it by tiers. So I start with the lowest tier. And then I get that stack done, and then so I got into
that's what I did.
I got into rhythm, because it was just in the beginning it was like what the hell, but then after a while you're like, all right, the dining room looks like a little mess for a little bit, but once it's all done, it's good.
My first step is pre-folding the Gemini mailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what I do is I stuff that into like the side of a couch a little bit to keep it closed. While I gather all the books, and then I open up the Gemini mailer, and it's nice form fit to like being closed. Right? And then I pack everything, quick tape, stuff it in the FedEx bag, put a UPS label on it. You heard me right. FedEx bag, UPS label. They hate that. And then, send it out the door.
Well, the shipping stuff is crazy right now. The cost, right?
The cost of shipping is crazy. Yeah.
Do you guys have? Do you guys use like? I bought one of those Dymo printers, like to print the label. Those things are a lifesaver. Do you have one of those?
No, I use my regular printer. I just have the label. The two labels on a sheet, and I just
Pirate Ship. Are you using that? That seems to be pretty good. Yeah.
Yes, I started using that for.
I got off Steam. Okay. The only thing that sucks is they don't have media mail on there. Like most of the stuff you could probably send media, but it's
do.
Oh, they do?
They started it, I think, right?
Oh, they started it.
Yeah. How much is it worth to you, buddy? I'll tell you. I'll show you how to find it. Okay. I'll send you the notes on how to find it. You got to find it.
No wonder. Oh, interesting.
Real quick to Michael in the chat. FedEx, UPS. Come on, guys. Media mail, UPS, USPS.
Yeah.
Believe me, Michael, I gamed the hell out of media mail while I could. I had enamel pins taped to the book so it wouldn't rattle around. What's in the box? Oh, it's all comics. It's all flat stuff. Don't worry about it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I got in trouble with one of the post offices near me. That's the only problem with media mail is like if you get like one of the postal workers that it's got like a black soul and just hates life and they just want to break your balls.
Yeah.
Which I got the one day. We brought in like 10 packages and the guy gave us such a hard time.
You gotta show a little leg, Keith.
Like, what's that?
You gotta show a little leg.
Yeah.
Ankle.
Next time I'm gonna do that.
You gotta shine them on a little bit.
Yeah.
I must have been to like 5 or 6 different just the UPS USPS places, just so they don't recognize my face anymore because I go in there.
That's what I started doing, just kind of going to different ones.
No, it's so I didn't understand, George, I was talking to George, I said, mine picks it up for me, right? So I set a schedule just to pick it up, and so it's a female. She says, so what do you do? What are you shipping? And I was like, comic books. And then George was like, no. I was like, what? You're not supposed to say that. I was like, why? I was like, why? And so I gave her some free ones, and she was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, as long as the biggest thing they're concerned about, and if this is anybody out there listening to, is the ads. Right, but you tell them if it's your own comic that you self-publish.
Yeah, I told her. I said
usually they're okay with that.
Yeah,
like this guy gave me a hard time. He's like, "Oh, I'll let it go this time," and I was like, "Oh boy, big tough guy," But like, so we just stopped going to that particular post office, but all the other ones were fine. And I think it's because we came in, it was already pre-stamped. They didn't have to do anything but grab it and bring it out back, that helps too, I think. But if you show up with no postage, it might be a little bit of a.
I've actually flagged down a UPS driver in a truck. Like he's pulling out of a driveway. I go, hey, wait a minute, I got boxes for you. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, let me see. Yeah.
Postal laundering. That's funny.
Some more. Let's see. Holy 5 campaigns.
Yeah, for real. 5 campaigns is serious business.
It's torture.
I can imagine.
It plays on your mind, you know. It's like, you know, just to make the goal, you're like, oh my god, am I gonna make
it? Michael says I try to recruit some of my friends to sell my books, and then they have to recruit people, not a pyramid scheme. I like that. That's actually great.
Not a pyramid scheme, though.
No.
He said you guys are tough, which is awesome. Hey, whatever works. Yeah, I agree. FedEx, UPS, come on, guys. Yeah. Media mail, which Johnny said. Dr. Mass said Keith is on the post office watch list. I definitely am. I'm on that board, you know, with the missing kids and stuff. Let's see. You got to have a good USPS worker. Yeah, definitely. There's certainly ones I've been to that have been awesome, but you just get that one that's been there a little too long, you know. Those are the ones you got to watch out for.
Big shout out to the girl with the blue hair at the Maynard Post Office. Post Office.
Bon Grizzly said, "Good evening, everyone. Good to have you here, man. Thanks for
hanging out."
Sebastian said,
"Yeah, Sebastian,
nice to see you, man.
What's up?"
And let me see, postal laundering. Some great comments tonight. Nerds of the round, what's up, guys? Oh man, worlds collide. Yeah, definitely. Let's see, I'm not saying I know anyone in the USPS, but most of them, not saying me, are pretty good about media mail. Yeah, we didn't have much problems, just rub the wrong person the wrong way that day. How much does the media mail option cost on average? It's usually fairly reasonable, like
$3.19 to $3.89, depending on how far
usually depending on how big it was. Like I was shipping, mine were under 5. I know that.
It's got to be less than a pound too, I believe.
Yeah,
anything over that, it gets a little more.
The problem with it too is I guess they ship all the media mail to one location so they can go through it. So even if I'm shipping something to the next town over, it goes all the way to like Jersey or something, and then comes all the way back up.
It's interesting because I was wondering why when I was looking, I was tracking the stuff that I sent. I say, why did it go there?
Yeah,
that's like, why is it sent there before go? It's supposed to go.
It goes
here.
to one place, and then
as long as you
where
pay
to open it.
As long as you pay $3.19 for it, you're good.
I got a refund for overpaying.
Right.
You got a refund? Yes. I was like, oh, thanks.
Hey, don't try to.
I think we said too much on this. Already.
Giving away all the trade secrets here, guys.
I think it was George Medina.
So Michael said $3.19.
Mike knows.
Mike knows. Yes.
Medium mail, any weight, first class.
I'm starting to think Michael works for the post office. I don't know. We're taking staff in the dark there.
We say nerds of the round. Facebook is the worst. I agree. Okay, need to look into it. Medium mail's great, but like you gotta be ready to lie. They ask you what's in that box.
Don't go too deep into the story. It's a book.
Yeah,
that's it.
Use the word self-published a lot and things like that. You'll be good,
because my neighbor's a musician and he uses media mail for his records,
for his music, right?
CDs,
Yeah, they're big. Like the biggest thing is the ads. Like that's why they don't want comic books shipped, because it has ads in them,
or magazines and things like that.
Magazines, things like that. So, but
just go
if it's your own comic, it should be no problem to ship it. It's just just tell them VHS tapes. Yeah, you can do that too. That's what Dr. Mass said. Awesome. So now that we've given away all the secrets for mailing, awesome.
So one thing I was going to say is that, when we had you guys on the show prior, individually, we normally say like, well, what's your origin story, so to speak? Well, you guys are a duo. What's the origin story of Catch the Craze? I think we may have said it before in the past, but now that we have both of you guys together, you want to retell the origins of Catch the Craze?
Yeah,
Sam,
started with naked people.
You tell that story. That's your favorite story.
It started with some naked people.
Favorite story.
Yeah. So George and I met at the School of Visual Arts. We were
Cool.
taking continuing education courses and happened to be a life drawing class. And unfortunately, our class was just inundated with male models, and so I was like, "This is ridiculous."
I've
Right?
been
So-
there, done that.
Yeah.
I could tell you some stories. Oh my god!
And then the teacher, he's a little outrageous. He puts the table, he puts a chair on top of a table. He has this naked guy climb on top of the table on the chair to do
You
poses.
see full
Cap-
grundle.
Yeah, and it's like
Captain
this.
Morgan, this
Like
bad
this,
boy.
and I'm not looking anymore. And so,
Captain Morgan.
I'm turning to George. I was like, "Hey, buddy," and as we started talking, he had a little comic booklet that he did of a hip hop duck, and we started talking. It's like, "Hey, I'm doing a Crazy Comics and whatever," and that's how it started. And we started Crazy Comics, and then it was. There was iFanboy and there was Comic Geek Speak, and they were just focused on the big
Oh yeah,
right. And I was like, and so I went to a pod camp, and at that pod camp, I went to the pod camp with Omar Solis. So shout out to Omar, and at the New Yorker Hotel, and that's when podcasting was coming. It was becoming a thing. They were saying it was going to be the next craze. So I ran to Sam Ash. I got some stuff. I said, "Yo, George, we're going to do podcast, Catch the Craze," and that's how that started. And we had big old webcams.
Dude, you were hanging from computers, falling and shit. You're like,
Yeah. And that's how Catch the Craze started. And it was, and then we became the indie comic podcast, the destination, because we were on fire. I mean, we had so many guests lined up. We've had Oming, we had the Dable brothers, we had everybody. We've had Neil Adams. So and so that was the beginning of it before.
So you got in right when podcasting kind of took off in like 2005 around there.
It wasn't cool yet. It wasn't cool. Like,
right.
I
remember that time when
it was looked at like, I think if you were like a radio VJ or something, you're like, all these stupid podcasters, like, you know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Now,
right.
Now everybody, like, I listen to a lot of sports radio, and those guys have podcasts. Like they're on the radio and they have podcasts. So.
Like,
Yeah,
I think
has a podcast.
What's that?
My grandmother has a podcast.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, I think if you're in California, it's like mandatory that you have a show or something. I think, but yeah, no, that's cool. I remember that. Like, I remember it was Comic Geek Speak, and there was
it was iFanboy.
What's that?
It was iFanboy, Comic Geek Speak.
Yeah. And then there was an indie one called like Indie Spinner Rack or something. And then,
yes, I remember those guys.
Remember that one? Yeah. And then I remember there was a lot at the time, or just starting. There was a handful, and I don't remember if I remember seeing you guys on those lists or not. It's been a while. Like, I don't know. But anyways, but that's cool. So that's when you guys kind of started. And where are you guys? When you said you went to school together, were you guys, what state was that? Was that
New York? So it was
New York. Okay.
School of Visual Arts in New York. Yeah. Sam was living, I think you were living, well, obviously you were living in Jersey at the time, and I was in Westchester County in New York. And so this was in New York City. So we was like continuing education.
What year was that? It was like 2000, early 2000?
02, 03, something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's when we first met. Yeah.
It was like 02, 03. Yeah.
And and the thing is, I was taking multiple classes, and so I had like 3-hour breaks between classes because they were continuing ed, and so I would just go down and to the theater and go watch a movie every time for my 3-hour break. I'm like, or sometimes I'll chill in the hallway.
Yeah, and before that, like even like before I met Sam, I didn't know about Photoshop and like 11 by 17 sheets of paper to do comic books. I was just 8.5 by 11, draw it, fold it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't.
Well, at the time too, I remember that because I was in school in '95. I went to 1 year at Hubert School in Jersey, so I was kind of close to you guys.
Nice.
But like even like the old way that they used to make comics, where they they had the artwork and then they had the overlay for like the lettering. And I'm like, this is so archaic. Like how do you like as an independent creator even go about like
there was no way
taking
right? Like,
that
there was nothing right.
I mean, calling like a printing press and like, I mean, I couldn't even fathom how to do it.
I think in the early 2000s is when print on demand started, right? Like I think
at the time I was like,
yeah, Comic Express I think had just started. Kablam I think had just began. So we didn't know much about that yet, because when we started doing our comics back in the day, Sam knew a guy. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like Sam knew a guy.
Right. You knew somebody that could set it up for you.
Yeah, and we'd fold and we'd staple. So it was really like just, very low budget. Comic
but you wouldn't know, because I mean our books were full color, high gloss. You didn't know that we were the ones who were stapling and binding. That was actually one of our products.
Was it really? Hang on, let me make
stapling and binding,
and it wasn't. It's all in color.
Oh wow. Look at that.
Yeah.
So you were like actually just printing out each like thing, folding it, and then stapling it?
We would give it to I would send him the file. He'd print out, a few hundred copies, and he'd give it to us in big stacks. Yeah. And so now we had to sort it, fold it, staple it. We were in the living room floor. Then we would stack boxes on top of them to get them flat. It was crazy.
Dude, that's grassroots big time. I love it. That's awesome.
But the messed up thing about that was when we would go to like a MoCA in New York City, where it was like back in the days, it was a lot of just, I would like fanzine kind of things.
Yeah, I heard that was a great show.
We were too, I guess, mainstream for that. But we weren't mainstream enough for the regular show. So we were like in the
middle.
We're like in the middle and stuck somewhere. So that's where we kind of like created even the podcast was just a means to an end. Let's promote other indies and ourselves, and hopefully this will help us get into more of the mainstream.
That's literally how Keith pitched this show to me.
Yeah.
he goes, let's feature other people and promote ourselves in the process. And
that's it, dude. That's
what
it.
we did.
Yeah, I mean that's part. I mean, why like it's part of like you want to create something entertaining, obviously, but also a platform a little bit for yourself too.
Yeah,
it's almost like a live action newsletter if you think about it. Right. I mean, you get people interested in you as a creator, but then also tell them what's going on.
It's a great way to network too. Like I met, Johnny, I met you through like Sebastian and like, you know what I mean? And Keith, I saw you on a Michael Gracia's show.
Oh, okay.
In tune. I saw you on that show, and I was like, wait, you do the Mighty Mascots? That's freaking awesome. Like it's one of those things where like, because like Sam says, everybody's got a podcast, but it's just almost like a way to like network.
Yeah. And if you listen to a couple different ones, you end up running into creators that are like-minded or doing something cool that you want to kind of check out, or you learn stuff like, I'm hoping like, just from our talks, people are learning about media mail today, or, you know what I mean? Or just something that can help them as a creator. And that's, that's what I want this channel to be, which is why I do the videos on creating a Comic-Con or setting up at a show and things like that. And I think what I'd like to do once I start doing the next 3 issues of Mighty Mascots, kind of bring in some of that process stuff to people, like how I write a script and, that'd be interesting to talk about with you guys. Like, cause the way I write a script is like, I don't recommend anybody doing the way I do it, So,
well, I think we've even discussed it before in the past where, everybody kind of has their own way of doing it. It's like everybody plays in their sandbox their own different way, and ultimately it's all kind of the same end game, but there's so many different ways you can skin a cat,
Right. Yeah.
I'm sending about scamming the post office.
What's that?
There you go.
Oh yeah, let me read all these comments that are coming in and some good ones. Let me see. I was there 10,000 years ago.
Throw the ring in.
Throw the ring in. Dr. Masson, now that's real blood, sweat, and tears in the comics. And that's referring to you guys putting the comics together. I think that was fantastic, though, and it looks good. Just seeing what you showed on there, it looks.
It's funny because it holds up. Like it's been. I mean, I've had that thing for almost 17 years. The issue holds up.
Yeah, it looks like it's in great shape. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Abominable Grizzly, help others to help yourself. Very interesting. Yeah, no, definitely.
Very
well, I mean, I think it's, it's just me and Johnny and you guys have a history with this stuff, and it's like
Well, yeah.
You
And,
know,
and,
it's
and that's
like,
the thing. It's cautionary tales, right? It's the things that we did wrong. I mean, we're not here boasting, oh, we're the best creators. No, it's like, this is what we did wrong. This is where we messed up. Don't do this. You know what I mean?
right.
Do
Yeah,
this.
learn from us.
Yeah,
It's
Learn
not
learn
like
from
you're
the
talking
mistake.
to like a bunch of chefs that won't give you the full recipe,
Right.
Because they
Yeah,
don't want to replicate. It's like, we want to show you what works and what doesn't. You know,
right? Or
don't
the
make the
magicians
same
that won't
mistakes we
tell you
do.
their tricks or how they do the tricks, you know,
Right.
for being shunned and all that stuff, you know.
Right.
And Dr. Mass said lots of learning on these streams. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what we try to do. I think just talking about things and getting people excited about comics again.
Well,
you know?
when we're just talking shop and we're like, oh yeah, that happens to me. That happens to me. Like,
It's crazy.
people who are just like getting started might be watching us going, wow, like I never thought of it that way. Or,
right.
Oh, these guys have a good way of approaching things, or whatever the case may be.
Oh yeah, definitely. Harry said, I'm learning about scamming.
That's what I was saying.
You don't speak English.
Definitely
That's
on the
one of the
watch
things
list.
we do keep
It's a
secret.
gray
to an
area.
extent.
It's a gray area. I don't know if scam is the
I
right
think it's
word.
a strong word. That's a very strong
Being frugal, maybe. Like I
There
don't
you
know.
go. There you go.
Frugal. Abominable Grizzly says, "Oh yeah, the wisdom these guys share has been invaluable." Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys you're getting something out of it. You know, how to write a script, how to what is that flat? How to flat Sam?
So Michael's a flatter. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Oh,
with
I didn't know that. Okay.
He works at the
All right.
post office. He's a flatter. He's got a book called Technogods. I mean, this guy does a lot of things. You probably should have him on the show. He's a really cool dude.
Definitely,
Yeah.
Mike.
Michael,
hit us up.
send us the message.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'd love to set up
we're
something for
booking
you.
out. I think late April, but we'll have you on eventually. Or if you have something, that you wanna
reach out
throw,
to
let
us. We'll
know.
schedule something for you for the future.
Yeah,
Nerds of the Round said my scripting writing is a mess. Then figure it out later. That's what I kind of do, honestly. I try to just do a stream of consciousness, and then I worry about the format later. You know.
I
So it
look
ends
like
up being
Charlie
like a
Day
mess.
in that episode where he's working in the postal department. He's like, Pepe Silva. That's me plotting out stories, right? And then when I start chanting, screaming Carol, I've made some type of revelation. You know?
My wife said, "Blood makes good book binding glue."
Yes, that is true.
It's like the ink with Kiss. You put your blood in the ink. You know, the ink doesn't bleed through the next page, but the blood will. Oops, that's true. Nerds of the Round. It's always great hearing how everyone handles comics in the trenches. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's what this show is, kind of, you know, stories from the trenches, you know. Yes, Charlie Day all the way. Yeah, definitely. But so that's awesome to hear that this. Yeah, look, you know what? Let's show the campaign we've been.
Let's pull up the
about.
campaign page.
Like,
and while we're pulling up that page, people shouldn't forget Adventures of Wonder Duck. That landing page is up right now, right?
Yes, it is.
So
And also the link is
page.
also on my campaign page at the bottom.
At the bottom.
Yes.
I'm gonna share that as well.
Perfect.
Like, I have it here on the tab.
Oh, look at that, Sam! Over 1,300, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
That is so awesome. I'm glad to see you guys are almost there. This is what? Let me see. 57 backers.
Plenty of time to overperform too, which is nice. You
have like literally under $200 to hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
fantastic.
Cool.
Now, Sam, if you had to say like, hey, this is the campaign to back with like all the best bells and whistles and perks, or I'm sorry, tier rather. What's the best tier to back? What would you recommend for people?
If you're looking for all encompassing, that's the duty special.
The duty special.
The duty special is the all encompassing. It has everything. It has it has all the covers, all the variant covers. It has the trading card. It has the coloring book. It has the guidebook. It has 2 stickers. It has a button, and it has a commissioned sketch cover by me on the sketch book. So you get all of that for $100, and it's everything, and you're saving huge. If you compare that to the individual tiers, you're going to save a whole lot of money with this bundle.
And now, if I recall correctly, you did a lot of spoof covers. Like there's a Matrix cover.
Yes, if you scroll down, you'll see the Matrix. Because it's there's an alien in my toilet, First Flush. You can't have First Flush without Rambo's First Blood variant cover, right? So you got so you got Duty as Rambo. You got the Matrix variant cover. This homage cover is by Maciek Empro. He's a talented artist from Poland. And then that's the homage cover to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue number 30. Then there's the sketch cover as well. And then the main cover, which was done by Jorge Medina at the top.
Awesome. So the sketch cover, they can get a sketch from either of you guys? Is that how that works? From you. Okay.
George doesn't draw anymore.
Oh, he does?
No, George put the pen down years ago.
I did.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I've been more of a writer, but I've been doing a little more of this like alternate auctions lately and just doing sketch cards and stuff. I've kind of found my love for drawing again recently, so I don't know. Maybe that'll happen for you, George. I don't know if you.
We'll see. I mean, I do have like in my campaign for Wonder Duck, I do have a cover that I did for that book. So
okay. So you are still kind of dabbling,
and that's why the guy was selling the George cover for $40 on eBay because it's rare that you're going to get a Medina cover. So George,
I did this years and years ago. This was done years ago. Yeah.
Yes. So
I like this character too. Like you said, this is a kids all ages, but not now when you say all ages, because I always have to kind of say this with my book too. It's not like it sounds like it's not like the typical all ages like condescending crap you see at like Barnes and Nobles for kids, but more like an all ages comics were in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, so basically, the adults and the kids are going to enjoy just the same.
Perfect.
Fans of slapstick humor, Wile E. Coyote, Marvin the Martian, Alf, you're going to enjoy this. And then if you want to introduce kids to comics, this is a great way to do that because every comic has 4 pages of trivia, problem-solving questions, word puzzles, maze. So there's activities in every book because Duty encourages learning. So, you have something for everybody. So, if you have a kid that you just want to get him to break away from gaming for a minute and say, check this comic out. This is a great way to sit at the table and solve the crossword puzzles together.
That's awesome.
All that stuff.
So there's activities in here too.
Yeah. 4 pages in every book. Yeah.
So another thing it kind of reminds me of is that I remember watching Ren and Stimpy as a kid, and it spoke to me in a different way then than it did when I was a teenager. Right. And it's like almost like you could read this as a kid and enjoy it. Yes. And then if you were to revisit it years later, you'd see it in a whole new light.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I like that a lot. Yeah. That's a book that, can kind of stay with you over time,
The way this character is drawn too, it reminds me of that new show on Hulu that's done by the Rick and Morty guys, that Solar Opposites.
Oh, Solar Opposites.
Have you seen that? The aliens look kind of like that a little bit.
Yeah.
I get a little bit of that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I like this too, where you made different versions of the character and stuff.
Dude is the ultimate cosplayer, bro. Tell him why, Sam.
Yeah, so Duty basically, all right. So he's a larger-than-life character. He believes he's the most intelligent species in the universe, and he believes he's the only one capable of handling the secret mission to Earth, right? So he has to determine if we're a threat to his planet Uranus, right? So the problem is, he's actually the General Goatee, who's responsible for babysitting Duty because Duty's father is the Emperor of Uranus. He actually sent Duty to Earth on a fool's errand just to get him out of his hair. But Duty thinks he's on the secret mission. In his arrogance and his haste, he gets on the ship. He heads to Earth. And he realizes, I forgot to refuel. And so he crash lands on Earth. And instead of admitting that he forgot to refuel, he chalks it up as it was his plan all along to infiltrate Earth's defenses. And so then he has to survive Earth's simple creatures. And he eventually ends up in a house where he meets a Chihuahua named Herman who thinks Duty's a talking jalapeno. And then the adventure begins from there.
I love that.
That's great.
I love that. That's awesome.
Talking jalapeno. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, I love all these different.
So the reason why you have all those characters is Duty tends to get knocked out a lot. So when in his dream state, now if he got knocked out by an ant, right? A red ant. Now Duty envisions himself as a samurai and the ant's the ninja. And so now he has to battle. And in his dream, he defeats them. But in real life, he's getting his butt whooped.
Kind of like when Calvin used to have his like little fantasy type of things. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this looks fun. This looks fun. And is it just one issue or is it going to be?
No, it's a 10-part miniseries. This is issue 1. The punchline is in issue 10. And then afterward, it's going to go into his own series, which is Duty. And that first issue of that series is already done. And it's with Duty's return to Earth, where he thinks that Santa Claus is the leader of Earth and he has to infiltrate his camp and take Santa out. So he has to get through Santa's defenses with the snowmen and the elves and all that other stuff.
Love it. I love that. That's awesome. It
And
looks like
you
you
said
devised
you
a
guys
card
are making a
too.
game,
That's
too?
really cool.
Yeah, a game.
Yes. So when I initially developed this project, my whole goal was to create the game. So right now I'm in the development stage. So the first volume of the trading cards are done, but the new generation of trading cards are gonna look a little different because those were created back in 0506. And so the cards you're going to get now, that first deck, but there's going to be about 12 volumes of trading cards, and there's a lot of characters. Wow. So in this campaign, there's also the first volume of the guidebook, the introduction to all the characters in the series. So you'll get a look into what's to come with the game. So I'm designing the board and the play rules right now. And each campaign will have a new volume of trading cards.
That's really cool. So by the time you get all the issues, you should be able to have the whole game.
Yes.
Or buy it in the last Kickstarter that you do. Yeah. That's awesome.
What a great way to get people to come back, right?
Yeah.
I'm impressed at how much is here, especially after doing 5 of these campaigns last year. Usually like someone that does 5 campaigns a year would be like 2 tiers and that's it. No video. Nothing,
Well, it's funny because I was running the Forbidden campaign, but the designing this campaign on the back end.
Awesome.
So it's like I was multitasking. And
the good thing about this is you can take all these graphics and kind of repurpose them for the next one,
And there's also
little things.
There's also 15, 17 years worth of like just stuff that Sam has from when.
Right. You've had this character for a while,
so it's been.
I love the plushie. That's awesome. The action figures, that's
and if
cool.
If we get to 150 backers or 5K, whichever comes first, we'll raffle off one of the 6-inch figures.
Let me see that
of military duty.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yes, it'll be custom painted by me.
Is that hard plastic?
Yes, it's 3D printed.
Oh, cool. I like it.
And so one lucky person, I'll do a live drawing after the campaign's been reconciled, and one lucky person will win this 6-inch figure custom painted by me.
Very, very cool. Awesome. I love that. It's like a General Patton alien, It's very cool. Yeah, I like this. And you can get original art.
Yeah, you can get wall art. So it's either wood or canvas art. You can get them custom by me, any version of Duty you want. Then there's the stretch goals. And that card right there was done by Daphne Lage, who does Eagle Raven. She actually did that. Yeah, she did the design of Duty on that card.
Oh, so cool.
And then Brian Kong, who's a very talented sketch card and game card artist. Trading card artist.
I know Brian.
Yes,
run into him in the New York area.
I mean, he does a lot of trading cards. I mean,
that's he's pretty much all that.
Yeah.
And I like him. He's a good guy.
Duty Face is a spoof on Scarface.
Yes.
We were just talking about that on the last show.
I like that. That's awesome. And Brian did this one for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Let's see. Stretch goal number 3 on this print. Duty in the raid. Oh wow! You guys, this
very cool.
A lot of stuff. It's great. Yeah. So you really get your money's worth, especially if we start hitting these stretch goals.
Yes, I mean there's so much to add to your bag. We hit those stretch goals, so the whole. I'm hoping that we start hit the goal this week, so we can start unlocking some of those stretch goals, so that.
I think you will. You're very close. I mean,
did I see a guidebook?
There's a
guidebook to the characters. There's also a coloring book. There's also a coloring book.
Oh, wow. T-shirts.
Cool.
Oh, my God. This is crazy. There's a lot of stuff.
A couple handsome gentlemen.
Look at these young kids.
Fans.
Yeah, right.
So Wonder Duck. While we're at Wonder Duck right now, real quick. Now, George, you said that if people go to sign up at Notify, and they let you know you've got something special lined up for them.
Yes, I have an exclusive PDF that I'm sending to everybody who signs up. Anytime before the campaign, if you sign up to the pre-launch page, just let me know you signed up, and I will send you a PDF of an 8x10 that when the campaign goes live, if you decide to pledge to one of the physical tiers, I will send you a printed 8x10 PDF an 8x10 print of that same PDF to you with the tier that you select. This is just a way to say thank you for coming on board so early in the campaign. I mean, this thing it's not till May.
Well, it always helps to have those freebies or whatever to sign up.
Yeah.
I backed this campaign. Is this Lynn and Monsterland?
Cool. Yeah, this one has hit this. I guess part 2 hasn't launched yet. So he and I are cross promoting each other. And,
okay. I bought the first one on a recommendation, and it's perfect for your title because it's a kid's book as well.
Yes. So then,
but it's not a stupid one. It's a good, like a good all ages.
Yeah. Then the one below is a little for adults. And that's Jared Winsborough. He's a buddy of ours, and so we're help promoting him. I think he's down to his last few days.
Yeah.
This campaign, very talented artist, very talented.
Yeah, I like that image. So check this one out as well. Violent Dogs.
We talk about process. We talk about processes, Keith. His process is crazy. Like he basically storyboards everything. So he'll shoot the model or whatever it is, and then it's very photorealistic his images without being too stiff. Like he does. He's an amazing artist.
I'll have to check that one out after.
Really cool guy. Really cool. Very talented. And so I wanted to mention that there's a educators bundle. So there's I have retailers bundle. So if you're a retailer out there, there's 2 retail bundles out there, but there's also an educators bundle. So if you want to introduce comics into schools and encourage science and learning, because there's a lot of science-based questions in this book, this is a great way to bring to the classroom. So there's a digital educators bundle, and there's a physical bundle as well. So the digital, the teacher will get a book and they get a poster for the classroom that says Duty Loves Learning. And then and they'll get a license for an entire class with up to 25 kids. And then there's a physical where you just get 25 copies plus the poster for the classroom as well.
That's awesome. That's a great idea. Bringing in like that aspect of it.
It's great too because you're also putting the book where normally an indie comic wouldn't go.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And part of this whole, like, even in what you're doing with the Mighty Mascots too, Keith, is I think that it's important that kids start reading comics again, right?
Yeah,
because it's the only way the industry is going to survive is if young kids pick it up the way we did when we were younger, picked up that first comic, and we're just hooked by what we saw on the page. And until that starts
it's getting harder to do that.
Yes, with the video games and all that other stuff. It's so hard for kids to just pick up a book and just read what's in the pages.
Yeah, personally, with me growing up, it was like I would see a cartoon of something that's comic book related and want to go seek that out. Yeah, I don't feel like nowadays, like as awesome as the MCU movies are, I don't feel like they push people towards the books. The way I say a lot of people, and we hear this all the time on this show, is that people see like, oh, I started watching Batman the animated series. Mm-hmm. And they started reading Batman because of that, or the 90s X-Men show or the 90s Spider-Man show, and they do that, and then that would help pull them into the books or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like nowadays our comic adapted content is doing what the stuff did then, which is pull people into the book,
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah,
and that's what my mom did with me. She introduced me to Archie. Right, she read the digest of Archie when I was a kid. That was my first introduction to a comic book. So I'm hoping to do the same with Duty. That someone picks it up and says, introduce it to the kid. Check this out, and then that kid now goes to their local comic shop for the first time and get their first experience, and they get to explore, those things. Because I think we're at a disadvantage with all of the technology and media. We have to find ways to bring in the next generation to keep what we do alive.
What a great story, though. I mean, kind of paying tribute to what your mom did for you and passing that along. Like, that's really awesome, man. This book is clearly born out of something that's love of comics,
Yeah.
love of sharing, all that stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely. We got some more comments.
Yeah,
that are pretty
there's
good
some
here.
good stuff. Good stuff.
George is only making NFTs. That's great.
George, are you making NFTs?
I should. I
Yeah.
should. Good idea, Mike. Good idea.
And then let me see. We get some. My wife says, "LOL. Seriously, check out this campaign. It looks hilarious."
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Amy. Appreciate that.
This
Nerd
campaign's
of the
dope.
round said, "Have great show, guys." And Sam, you're gonna kill it, brother.
Thanks.
We need to get Law on from Nerds of the Round. He actually just put something out recently too. I've been telling him we get him on the show.
Right? Yeah. He's got some
Dr.
stuff
Mass says, "Well done campaign."
Thank you.
Dr. Mass says, "Almost like you guys know what you're doing." Yeah, it's true. Don't forget to tell them Sam is being held hostage.
That's right. That's right.
Sam's being held hostage until this thing gets funded.
I'm in orbit. I'm in orbit to the space station until Duty makes goal.
Brian is great.
He
Dr.
is.
Mass, yeah, we definitely agree with that. Any Call of Duty?
Oh, that's so good.
That's like a good stretch goal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
good.
Sam, write that one down.
I know, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
And then we see Dr. Mass. It's great seeing all ages stuff. Yeah, I agree. Like, there's not enough of it, but like, there's all ages stuff, but a lot of it, it's really condescending and talks down to kids. I think like there's not enough all ages stuff like this.
Yeah,
right.
This also has a glossary of terms because Duty does use an extended vocabulary, so you can actually find a definition of these words at the end of the book.
You know, it'd be fun too. With like, have you thought about doing like creating like your own like alien language where you know like a symbol equals A and then the kids have to go and figure out what he's saying,
That would
be like one of those puzzles.
Nice. Like a Orphan Annie decoder ring.
Yeah, something like that. That would be kind of fun with this. Is this a campaign video right here?
It's actually the animated trailer. It's the opening sequence for the comic book.
Oh, okay. How long is it? It's
on the 50 seconds.
Oh, okay. Let's run it. Yeah, let's play it.
Oh, dude.
That's awesome.
That's
fun,
great
man.
animation. I love that.
Yeah, it is great.
That little yell at
Did
the
you
end.
make that, Sam, or did you have that outsourced?
No. I did the storyboards and I outsourced it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But the yell at
Came
the
out
end
good.
is Sam. The yell at the end is Sam. That's him.
That's me.
Oh, is it really?
That's his voice acting. That's his voice acting. He's a voice actor as well.
And then before we jump off of here, I want to show this a little bit.
Thanks, man.
Give you some followers here, George. Tell us a little bit about this campaign that's coming up.
So the Adventures of Wonder Duck in Nothing to Muse is the 5th chapter of a 4-chapter graphic novel that is out right now. You guys can definitely get it on my website at getyourmeds.com or darkfirepress.com, who's the publisher who picked it up. And basically what happens is I'm picking up from the last issue in that chapter, and this is like the second part of it, where Dr. Muse is the name of the scientist who created the Wonder Duck suit. And we find out why he got rid of the suit that ended up on the planet that created, this hero Wonder Duck. And so this particular story is almost like a side story that continues the second part of the graphic novel. And I decided to do it as a Kickstarter just to get people reintroduced to the story. Here you're going to get the 5th chapter. The second part, the complete second part of the story, I'm hoping to have done by the end of the year. So this is just an introduction into that. And so you'll be getting the 5th chapter of the book in this campaign.
Awesome. Yeah, this looks fun too. Like just some of the pictures I've seen of the character and everything.
Yeah.
Looks
yeah.
like Darkwing Duck, or like is it inspired a little bit by that?
Influence. Yeah. The Disney Afternoon, like that was a big influence for me growing up.
Gargoyles and all that.
Yeah, DuckTales and and Darkwing Duck and all that other fun. That's the type of stuff that I watched. And I remember, and the book is written in that, when you were talking about writing, right? That book is written in, it's a 22-page book, but it's written like almost like a 22-minute, cartoon, where like you would have like your beginning would be just introducing some of the characters, and you have a big action sequence and then a resolution to what's going on. So every single, chapter or comic is written that way. And so I try to bring
like a beginning, middle, and end. Like almost a one and done episode.
Correct. But it's still a story that continues, throughout. So yeah, I had a blast just writing it and, redoing what I was doing as a child, because I created this back in the early 90s when I was watching the Disney.
That's awesome. And it stayed with you all this time.
Yeah, but at the time it was such a ripoff that I was like, I got to change this because I'm gonna get sued. Like Disney's gonna, come after me. So it's evolved.
I think we've all done that.
It's evolved now. So yeah, this is where it is.
You're like, hey, look at my original thing, and it's basically just the same thing with like one little thing changed on it.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I think we've all done that at some point when we were kids, But that's awesome. Yeah, and so that's coming May 4th.
May 4th.
Yeah, let me share the link.
The day after George's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. That would be a great gift for George. Have a
great way
to be my gift. Yes.
May the 4th too. Isn't that like a Star Wars birthday?
May the 4th be with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you smash that notify button.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean,
definitely
I've
add that to your list.
On there already.
Especially if you're looking for all ages stuff,
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, bridge our followers and supporters. So when we launch the 4th issue of Catch the Crazies, which is based on our story in the podcast, that we bring that collective group together to that campaign.
Awesome. Looks like we moved the needle a little bit for you guys. At least.
Yeah, dude, this has been great.
Oh, nice. Look at
so
that.
Close, so close, so close. You'll hit that. I bet by this weekend you'll have that done. And then you can start relaxing a little bit.
Sam doesn't know how to relax. He's gonna keep going. He's gonna just like
you got to though, right?
I know you have to.
When you're in campaign mode, it's like you're really. Running for a campaign, like to become mayor or something. I
have 79 graphics, individual graphics that I promoting this campaign every day on 12 different social media platforms. That's crazy. So
that's
every morning,
a lot of work to have to manage, man. Like
every morning I get up at 7 a.m. and I'm just and I'm on 50 groups, and I'm like, it's a grind,
man. It's a grind. I've actually been able to go to some of our local comic book shops and drop off some of these cards, so that just like as some local comic book shops. So yeah, big thank you to Spider's Web, who allowed us to put them into their store, and
those are always the best stores. The stores that will support indie creators.
Raise Comics in California.
Yeah.
Some of them won't want nothing to do with you, but like the ones that do.
Sam's had some situations.
I got turned away by 7 comic stores in Dallas alone.
That's crazy.
Did you really? I believe it.
In fairness, Texas is a big state.
It was like, you walk in, and I was like, none of them are. This place is not indie friendly, because it was hard to find any indie books at all.
Yeah.
And then when you found them, it was like a 2-foot space, and then you go to the counter, like, hey, by the way, one guy told me, he goes, why would I want to direct traffic to you and away from me? And I was like, I said, well, I do have a retail bundle, and your patrons might ask, are you going to carry this? Because I want to leave bag stuffers on the counter. They didn't want to do it.
Wow. Well, there's in stores like that, usually indie means like Walking Dead, like that's their indie book. You know what I mean? Like,
come on,
yeah, exactly. Like, but like, what's that?
We're the misfits.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But there is stores that will support, which it's just it's finding those places. We have a handful.
Distribution on Facebook is a great resource of comic shops that are willing to play ball with.
What is it, Johnny? What is it?
It's called Plan D Distribution.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a,
I never
it's a
even heard of
Facebook
that.
group.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, they came together, and there's a master list of indie shops that are willing to work with people. Now, whether they're still relevant or those shops are still doing things now, I don't know, but it's out there. It's a good resource.
Plan D Distribution on Facebook groups.
Facebook groups, yep.
Okay, yeah. So if you're out there and you're looking for stores that looking for indie stuff, check that group out.
Yeah.
And see if you guys can get books to them or what. Most of the places will either do a consignment kind of thing if you want to put a book in there, or they'll just buy them from you for a discount, like they would from Diamond or something,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. No, both these campaigns look good, guys. I don't know. I think this is guaranteed to hit. So I think you can be relieved in like a week,
Hit and overperform. There's still plenty of time left on that.
The real question is, how many campaigns are you going to do this year, Sam?
Well, I get a break because George is doing Wonder Duck, and I don't want to do anything that.
Okay, so you get a little break.
Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? So when I'm actually, even when I'm, because I guarantee everyone gets it in April as long as the printers, don't have any problems. So even when I am fulfilling the campaign, when he starts in May, I won't launch the next campaign until his is done.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, the duty will hit the fan.
Harry said duty will hit the fans.
So I get a break. I get a couple months for the first time, because last year was just back to back on top of the podcast, on top of drawing and creating and all
crazy,
that,
man.
and then moving to Texas. So this is I'm gonna actually dig. Relaxing,
getting a little bit of a break.
Yes. I'll be promoting the landing page for the next campaign.
But that's that's awesome, though. I'm glad, you guys, that's hustling. It's awesome. It's like
it is a hustle for sure.
Yeah, it sure is. And listen, guys, I'm looking forward to your stuff. Like when you guys come up with the stuff, I can't wait for your Mighty Mascots.
I think I can only handle one a year.
What's that?
I think I can only handle one a year. I don't know if I can pick up to you guys. They take a lot out of you. They do.
They do.
But I think I think with me too, and I don't know if when you guys are doing campaigns like this, do you do shows on top of that, like Comic Cons, or do you kind of pull away from that when you're doing that?
I did 2 or 3 shows last year, and I think 3. And this year, right now, I'm confirmed. I'm waiting for the confirmation, but I signed up for the Fan Expo in Dallas. That's in June, and I'm contemplating MegaCon.
That's Florida, right?
Yeah, Florida. Yep.
So we're contemplating. George and I are contemplating MegaCon, and I'm also looking at a RetroCon here, which is like a nostalgic vintage toys and books. I usually we did one of those in Philly, and we did really well because we were one of maybe a dozen artists, and everybody else was selling toys. So you
caught that audience that was looking for stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
we made back the hotel, the table, everything. And so it was like,
awesome.
Oh, cool. So
those are the best shows when you find like that little gem. Those are awesome.
I don't know how well this would work, but I'm thinking that conventions can also help to guide people towards the campaigns. With
if you have
codes,
like flyers, you can give them and things like that. Yeah. Because you'll find a lot of people want to support you, but they may not have money left from being at a show. I've had that a lot where they'll take my card and go to the website, and once in a blue moon they actually do follow through and buy stuff, so but that does happen. The reason I was saying that is because I think with me and Johnny, I think we tend to do a lot more shows and then probably aren't at home as much to work on doing a campaign. But I'm definitely gonna buckle down, and because I need to get the next one going for my stuff. I want to keep it going, so and try to do I think too. Also, I tend to do 3 issues, instead of just one at a campaign. So it feels like I'm doing maybe 3 campaigns all in one shot, so but yeah, no, that's awesome. So yeah, we definitely whenever you have something new, definitely drop us a line. We'll get you, do something like this again, or
we'd love to have you guys back on again too.
Always,
and we got to do the individual shows for you guys. So
I'll send you guys a link. Just pick whichever dates work for you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, that works great.
All right. Well, I'm going to start wrapping things up. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes. So.
Yeah. Michael Sammartino said it's past George's bedtime.
Yeah. What was it? Dr. Mass said California had codes you could scan that would take you right to the Kickstarter campaign. That's a good idea. Or Jim Califor, he said.
Califor.
Yeah. However you spell that. Yeah, right. I know who he's talking about. It was a Marvel guy, right? Marvel artist, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all great advice. So as we start to wrap up, Bominal says, great show. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Bominal.
Guys. Yeah, absolutely.
It's always good when you have good creators on that, we can just shoot the shit with, and bust balls, and talk about the industry for real, like the real industry, like the trenches shit, that we all do, But it's great stuff. So just give you links out one more time before we start wrapping up, and then we'll go from there.
If you guys want to check out the Adventures of Wonder Duck, there's the page right there at the _adventures_of_WD. Send me, like I said, if you guys sign up to the page, just send me a DM right there with your email address. I'll email you the PDF exclusive for this campaign. I'm not doing anything else. Nobody can get it. Only the people that signed up to the pre-launch page, and that's it. So find me there, or go to getyourmeds.com. That's the website. And
here's the link to go to the Kickstarter directly and sign up for it.
That's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
And for me, you can catch me at Catch the Craze on any social media platform. It's Catch the Craze with a DA. Our podcast is Catch the Craze on YouTube. Again, if you're looking to break away from the chaos and want to just laugh a little bit and be giddy like a kid and have that awkward laugh, this is a good book for you. I don't care if you're in the gym pumping iron and you want to look too cool. It's cool enough for you. All right. So it's all ages. Have fun. Give it a shot.
And there's the link for that.
I guarantee you will have fun.
Awesome. It looks like we got you one more person to subscribe to the Wonder Ducks campaign.
Oh,
nice.
You're at 56. So
nice.
That's good.
Send me your information. I'll
move the needle a little bit here, just a little bit. Never huge, but just a tiny bit.
No, you guys did great, man. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yes.
Awesome. And Johnny, how about you? Anything you want to let people know about? Oh yeah, we wanted to show the. Let me go real quick. Why I'm on Kickstarter here. We want to show Cthulhu, right?
Yeah, so there's actually a couple of campaigns I want to shout out, only because we're a bi-weekly show. We're booked up. We can't have everybody on, unfortunately, but there's campaigns I definitely want to make people aware of. Currently, also running right now is Cthulhu is Hard to Spell. That's the 3rd volume. It's the first time I've ever.
It's really hard to spell because I can't even find it.
CTH
KTHU
ULU, I think.
CTHULHU Cthulhu.
Okay. All right. Let me see if
so.
There it is.
Like spell is running right now, but it's a 40-day
that's a legit
campaign.
title.
So back Sam first. That's the most important thing. Back Sam first, and then when you're on to your next thing, before it's up in the 40-day window, come over to Cthulhu's Hard to Spell. Get the 3rd volume. Get all 3 volumes. There's some really awesome enamel pins.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
Russell Nolte.
Yeah. So now this is an anthology series that Johnny's. You've been a part of all 3, right?
I've been a part of all 3. It's the most popular book I sell at shows. It's a nice hardcover. It's got that cover art from the same artist of Invader Zim and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Wow, that's
cool. That's
Vasquez.
Jonan
Vasquez.
Vasquez.
Johnny, you wrote a story in here?
I do. I have a short in all 3 volumes, and this is the final volume. And this is the first time I've ever done a trilogy of anything, because all 3 stories actually interconnect across the 3 volumes, which is normally unheard of for an anthology, right? They're supposed to be separate, but luckily I was able to make mine a continuation across all 3 books.
That was cool, man.
That's cool.
So it's almost at the halfway point. It's just under 15K. It's a 30K, a 30,666 goal. Wow. So we're
in
very
one day,
close.
Right? One day. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're very close, and there's lots of perks and lots of fun stuff.
That's the good thing about being part of an anthology. It's like you got all these different creators contributing to the success of this thing, you know?
Yeah. And that's part of what made the campaign, I think, so successful time after time, is that you have 30 different creators involved with stories in there, all now each with stake in the book to promote it, right? So it gets out there. The other book or other campaigns I want to just give a quick shout out for, there's Cthulhu. There is a Tomb of the Black Horse by my buddy Ian Mondrick. Check that out. Okay. I believe that's the 3rd volume of a story too he's doing.
What's it called again?
They are very close. They're about just under 500 from hitting their 8K goal.
Okay.
So check that out. There's another book called And We Love You. It's by Fellhound from Commander Rao. Her book is out there now. I couldn't tell you about it, but it looks really interesting from the trailer. So I backed it. Check it out. I think people will.
This is all on Kickstarter?
This is all on Kickstarter.
Oh, nice.
And, there's also Kid and the Ripper, which we had those guests on previously. Their campaign needs a little bit of extra love. So they're at $4,131 out of a 12,000 goal, and they got 7 days to go. So it's a little tight, but
it's tight.
It's going to get the word out there. So if people are interested, they can back it. So check it out. Kid and the Ripper, a graphic novel on Kickstarter. And last but not certainly least, check out Sam's. There's an Alien in My Toilet, #1. We talked about it in the prior show. We talked about it a little bit on this show. It seems like such an awesome book. Definitely check it out. And lastly, thanks for having us on the show earlier, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun.
And I will wrap up by saying, if you enjoyed this hour of YouTube, go check out the first part of it over on the Catch the Craze podcast, where me and Johnny were the guests, and these guys are doing all the heavy lifting.
That was perfect.
But it was fun. We talked about Comic-Cons and just being in the trenches over there a lot, and
that's right.
And about my show, Plastic City Comic-Con.
Yep.
So just go if you want to check that out. That was a fun episode as well, and it goes back to back with this one. So check that out. Also, go check out the Alterna Winter Campaign. We're just over to 20,000. It's the new way Alterna is doing distribution. So check that out. You get the trading cards with every quarterly campaign. So that is going to be an exclusive thing.
Keith, how many of your books are on that campaign?
So this last winter one, I had Mighty Mascots 5 and 6. It was only supposed to be 1, but then I think one of the creators couldn't get their book in time, so mine was already done. So he threw 6 in there as well.
Nice.
But you can go on and get all the previous issues as well.
Okay, cool. So that's what I was wondering.
So if you want to add them on and just read catch up on Mighty Mascots, you can. So it's awesome. And then I was going to say, check out the site for Plastic City Comic-Con. It's coming up this summer. Going to be a great show. We don't really have any huge guests, but we have a ton of great indie creators coming. It's the only show Alterna does. I got Alex Cormack coming, who did some stuff with AWA and IDW.
Red Stylo.
What's that?
He did Red Stylo, The Crossing, I believe.
Yeah, we got Joe Schmalke and Rich Woodall.
Oh, really? He did The Crossing. That's a good book.
Yeah.
Really good book.
Yeah, he's great artist, and he's got a book out with AWA right now called The Crimson Cage. It's like a wrestling book or something.
Oh, cool.
Looks interesting. But yeah, so we have a ton of indie creators. I think Johnny's coming to this one too, right?
All right.
I'm hoping to, depending on when my flight out to California is.
Yeah, that's right. It's all dependent on that. So.
And also Vermont Comic Con, or the Vermont Pop Culture Convention or whatever. Basically, it's the revitalization of the old school Vermont Comic-Con, but not run by the same guy. That's going to be happening in July as well.
Awesome.
Cool.
But all right, yeah. So check all that out and subscribe to these guys on their YouTube channel as well, especially if you like fun and lively conversations about comics. Check that out. And that's about it. Anybody have any last words before I close out this broadcast?
That's all I got.
If you're an early riser, join George and I tomorrow morning for the morning group with the Crazy Crew, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
Oh my god! Another show
to each other.
Another show. Oh my god! You guys are too much. I'm tired just like listening to you guys. Like it's crazy.
I'm gonna sleep on the computer, wake up, and just hit play so we can just continue.
Right? My god, it's awesome. I admire the hard work and dedication, guys. Though it's really cool to see. Awesome.
You know what? I think the key is having fun with it, man. Like just,
you have to.
It's not work when you're having fun, right? Like it doesn't seem like work. This is just fun for us. So
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mike says a show within a show. Yeah. It's like the inception of podcasts.
Oh man.
But all right, guys. Well, we're gonna end this one. Thanks for joining us every week or every other week on here. We love having you in the audience. We love your comments and have a great week, everybody. We'll be back in 2 weeks with I don't know who the next guest is, but we're guaranteed to have a good time. So come on back and have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later. Good night, everybody.